Hello. I always give it a second or two just to start because the very start of YouTube lives always cuts me off. Also, firstly, I'll just say I've got a ring light here so you can see the reflection of my glasses. If you watch people with glasses, you can always tell if they've got a ring light. If I didn't have glasses, you'd never know. You'd think it was extremely good lighting in my workshop, but unfortunately, I can't see without my glasses. So back they go. We've just reversed into the thing that we're going to be painting. Today, I'm going to be adding some grunge to this. I was going to do it off camera and finish it last week, but time got away with me. Hi, Anne-Marie, and I didn't finish it last week, so I thought I'd finish it now. Well, not finish it, but add the last little bit of grunge. So, just to recap, this is a piece that I've been doing over a series of lives. It's a metal chest. It's been previously painted by me a few years ago. It was primed using Slick Stick, which is an adhesion primer. Then I painted it with Dixie Belle's Plum Crazy, which is, you can actually see hints of it coming through here. It's a really funky purple colour, and I put loads of black wax on it, and I've been using it, but it's time for things to change. I no longer need it in my space, and I thought I'd have some fun repainting this in red. So I created a custom red out of rustic red and honky tonk red, and made a deep sort of base colour, which again you can see coming through in parts. Then I added some wax resist, and over the top of that we went in with honky tonk red. I also added these sort of corner catches to match this original catch at the front. So these were all done in like a faux finish using gold gilding wax, caviar chalk mineral paint and bronze patina paint. So I did that. And then I distressed it, which is why you can see it's all chippy. And I've also added some more grungy areas with coffee bean, which is also in the chalk mineral paint range. So I've added that, and now I'm going to add even more grunge with Best Dang Wax in black. So, if you know me, you'll know that this is one of my favourite products. I literally go to town with this thing. So, there's a couple of different ways you can apply this. If you've watched any of my content before, you will know that usually I will apply a coat of clear wax, then whichever wax I'm going to go in with the detail, usually black or brown. And that basically gives you better control over the application of your coloured wax, because it just creates a barrier in between your paintwork and the coloured wax. If you go straight in over chalk mineral paint with coloured wax, the paint tends to grab onto the pigment of the coloured wax. And if you do want to remove anything, any excess, or if you want to rub back anywhere where you might have kind of gone a little bit heavy-handed, as I do quite often, it just makes it a little bit harder. So I usually apply clear wax first. However, we're not going to do that today. No clear wax today. I'm going to go straight over the top of this with black wax. So I've got this brush because it's a natural bristle brush. That's traditionally what you use with waxes. They just hold on to the product better. They distribute it better than a synthetic brush. A synthetic brush tends to get really clogged up and doesn't give you that kind of application that you need with wax. And Best Dang Wax is water-based. So worst case scenario, you can grab a damp rag or a baby wipe and you can remove it very, very easily. It also means you can continue layering paint over this. So traditionally, like I say, if you're using a solvent oil-based wax, that is usually the last thing that you do because any water-based products won't sit over the top of it. This, because it's water-based, you can have a play around and keep layering up colours. So if I wanted to add some more coffee bean, or if I wanted to go back in with another colour, then I absolutely could do that over the top of this. That's why it's so good. So I'm using a dry brush. I'm just going to put some on the bristles. I'm going to remove the excess just on the... That's my dog in the background creating noises. Bella, if you bark, you're in trouble. Bella? She's looking at the door like she's going to bark. I'm just going to remove the excess on the side of the tub, and that just means I've got a nice even distribution on my bristles, and I'm just going to go straight in. So I'm going to concentrate. If you can see on here already, I've concentrated the coffee bean around the sort of areas where you might expect sort of dirt and grime to build up. So underneath this lip here and here, around the sort of catches, and this is just going to basically sort of intensify that grungy look. And I'm using a light hand, and where I've applied it, I'm kind of feathering it out so that it's not one kind of really solid line. And you can create absolutely loads and loads of different effects with wax. So loads of people, the question, whenever I do something with wax, with coloured wax, people always ask me the same question: how do you know what colour to use with what colour paint? So how do you know what colour wax to use with the colour paint? And there isn't really an easy answer for that. A lot of it comes down to personal preference, but the other thing that it sort of the other thing you've got to bear in mind is what kind of effect are you trying to create, I suppose. So black wax is really, really well suited to a more kind of grungy industrial look. So you can create some really, really cool finishes with the addition of black wax. I personally particularly like black wax over really bright colours. So like the honky tonk red, it looks really good with mermaid tail, it looks really good with yellow, it looks good with peony, it looks absolutely, my favourite combo is tree frog green and black wax. It looks phenomenal. Florida orange, again, another really bright sort of zingy colour. That's just me personally, but that's the kind of colours that I use when I'm doing a more kind of industrially kind of grungy look. And then I'll use black wax to kind of make it sort of aged and depth. Brown wax is a lot softer, so it's traditionally, I suppose, used to make your piece look old, so sort of antique-y kind of vibes. If I use brown wax on here, it would kind of do the same thing, but it'd be a lot softer, so it'd be less industrial, sort of grungy, and more sort of antique-y and a bit more aged in a softer way. Then you've got white wax. So white wax gives you age, but in a different way. So white wax can make your piece look sun bleached, which is really good for like a beachy effect or a weathered effect. White wax looks really good in that kind of scenario. I find white wax looks really good over kind of pastel colours. So you sort of pinks, your baby blues, those kind of things. And then you've got grey. So grey is quite similar to white, and you can create some kind of really soft beachy kind of looks with grey. So there's not really like a set rule on what you use the coloured wax versus on what sort of colours. It just depends on really the type of look that you're trying to achieve, and also how extreme you want that sort of piece to look. So black is without a shadow of a doubt the most extreme, and you can see here that I'm sort of just dry brushing the rest of my product on here. So I've used the most amount of product when I had it on my brush to run under this lip, and that's going to create shade here. I'm not going to do anything on this bit here. I might just run a little bit on the side of where those corner sort of pieces are, and that basically makes this centerpiece pop. So it's all about dimension. Hi Melissa. So it's all about adding depth and dimension with waxes, and the good thing is you can build the sort of coloured wax up. So if you want a really strong, prominent, dark black, you can just keep building it up until it's really, really dark. And then here, where I kind of want to fade it out. I've just used sort of the remnants of my brush, almost like a dry brush effect. You could do a very, very similar look with paint if you wanted to. So you could use black caviar chalk mineral paint. I just find that it's a little bit harder to control because it just wants to go on and be full coverage, whereas wax gives you the versatility, not versatility. I'll tell you why I said versatility. It's because I've hardly had any sleep, and I'm blaming my child for that. He got me up at 1 o'clock. No, he got me up at 1, and I barely slept after that because he'd had a nightmare, he reckons, and he wanted to get into bed with me. So of course, I obliged, and he's a fidget, so I barely got any sleep. Then, here's my funny story of the morning, and if you're having a bad day, hopefully, this will make you feel better. I got up, as usual, 6:30, 6 o'clock, whatever time it was, threw some washing down the stairs, which landed on the sort of halfway down the stairs. I then walked down the stairs, slipped on the washing, fell halfway down the stairs, potentially broken my toe. I'm not sure what the damage is yet, but it hurts. Then headbutted a saucepan when I was tidying up, full on headbutted it, and I got a big red mark here. What also has happened? Oh, I smashed a vase. I smashed a vase that I had created for a little video. Just needed to find, like, basically film the final stages of this vase, and I smashed it all over the floor, so that was redundant. Then I was trying to edit some videos on my phone because I thought, right, just sit down and edit some videos on your phone. So I did that, and for some reason the videos wouldn't load. So I was like, okay, we need to look into this. Now, I am not a technical person. I switch things off and switch things back on again and hope it works for the best. I'm not a technical person. So I was troubleshooting why none of the content would load that I'd filmed. Tried loads of different things. Found something online that basically said something to do with your Apple ID. So I did what it said. Fired it back up. I need wine. It's a bit early for wine. I haven't even got the kids from school yet. But probably tonight I will have wine. So I fired my phone back up after I'd followed these step-by-step instructions. And now, instead of something like 15,000 photos and Lord knows how many videos, guess how many files I've got on my phone? 37. Where have they gone? What has happened? I don't know. So, yeah, I've done quite a lot of stupid things today. I can't tell you what else I've done, but there's probably been something. There's probably been other things, so there you go. That's my story of the day. Excellent. So I really hope those photos and videos come back, because not only were there weeks worth of content, months worth of content saved on my phone, there was also loads of pictures and videos of the kids, which is going to irritate me more, I think. So I hope they come back. Otherwise, I'm going to throw my phone. I'm going to frisbee my phone. Never too early for vodka. I like your style. I'm going to frisbee my phone down the garden because I'll be incredibly annoyed. I don't know where they've gone, and I was trying to fix it before I went live, and then I thought I really need to go and do my live video, and I'm just praying that they're there when I get back. I don't understand where they've gone. I just don't get it. So, if anyone is a whiz with Apple products, let me know, because I might need you. So, as you can see, we're building up the grunge. I'm sort of highlighting, there's basically sort of two raised sort of lines down here that I'm basically going either side with my dry brush and then feathering it out that way, just so that there's not such a kind of harsh line, and that's going to create a bit of shadow and interest. Oh, I also had some prawns for lunch, and I'm pretty sure they were not right because I feel a bit sick, so, you know. But yeah, vodka will probably kill that, so, you know. There we go. It's been a funny old day. Have I got things saved on the iCloud? I have got iCloud. I pay for iCloud storage. It says there's a lot of files there, but I don't know how to access them, and I don't know why they're not on my phone, because they were on my phone before. And this, I don't know. I need to look into it. I need to look into it without. I haven't panicked yet. I haven't panicked yet, and I haven't got angry yet. But I am not far off. I tell you today, I am not far off. So it's really just about playing around with where you want those grungy shadows to be. And like I say, if you, let's have a look if I can, there we go. If you really hate where you've put the placement of wax, I'll just scooch over here, don't mind me. Got a little bit of water left in my spray bottle. It's so dark here. We've had constant fog for, I reckon, about 3 days. Yeah, this ring light is pretty much the only light. I feel like a mole. I'm just basically pretending that that's the sun, and I'm sunbathing on a beach. I've also got a heater on down here because it's freezing. But yeah, we've had basically constant fog for the last 3 days. Anyway, if you want to soften an area or kind of take back, so looking at it on the screen, it kind of looks quite heavy here. Now that could be because I've put a lot of coffee bean here, or it's distressed. But I'll show you how to kind of, let's go down a bit. Going down. There we go. Normally what I do is, instead of spraying the piece, I'll spray the cloth. Just really lightly mist a damp cloth, a rag or paper towel. And the reason I don't spray the piece is because it's not yet had a top coat on it. And also, you get better control when you've sprayed your cloth, so it doesn't give such a big mist on a bigger area. You just concentrating it on the cloth. You don't need a lot of water on here at all. And then you can just rub away at an area where you might have thought, yeah, I've gone a bit heavy-handed with that, which is something that I do quite a lot of the time. I am very heavy-handed. And you can just soften, you can almost just blend it out. And you can just soften areas that you, like I say, you've gone a little bit too heavy. So if you had have done this with paint, if you'd have created shading with paint, this is the step that you can't really do once it's dried down. You'd have to kind of sand away at it, whereas this gives you a much kind of softer look. You can just kind of fade it out. Yeah, it looks heavy there because I've chipped away at the paint, so, but that's okay. That's okay. Or if you just want to not use water and take quite so much off, you can just grab a dry part of the rag and just really softly buff, which again starts to remove any excess. So you can see on there's a little bit of black wax coming off, but it just creates, it sort of gets rid of any harsh lines at the same time as sort of buffing it as well. There we go. So that's how easy black wax is. I know a lot of people are really scared of it. If you're scared of it, try brown wax first, because it's not quite as sort of daunting and heavy. But having said that, best dang wax is truly best dang wax, because once you have put it on, it's not the do-all and end-all. Like a solvent-based wax is much harder to take off and play around with, because you've got to sort of remove it with white spirits and stuff. Whereas this, it's much more, you can play around with it a lot more. So what I'm going to do with this is, now I've probably lost all the video footage for this, so if you want to see how I've achieved any of this, you're probably going to have to go back and look over old lives. Thanks to my phone. So what I'm going to do is, love the best dang wax. Me too. yeah, so what I'm going to do is finish this off with all the black wax all the way around. And you can see how different it looks, how sort of not as, how many colours do they do? So there's black, brown, grey, white, clear. If I show you the side, so that's the front. I'm pretty happy with that. We've got lots of depth, dimension and kind of grunginess going on. And then this side, can you see? Oh, I've taken you too close. There we go. I'm taking you this side because the window's right behind you, so the lighting's good. So here, I haven't added any Best Dang wax in black. I've only got the kind of chippiness, little bit of coffee bean here and there to add a little bit of kind of rusty kind of grunginess. Can you see how sort of not three-dimensional it looks? It looks a bit more kind of flat and still looks cool, but when you add the addition of wax, ta-da, it just creates so much more depth, I think, personally. As you can see, I've got several projects going on here. We've got this one, which is fresh out storage, and she is filthy. We've got a little one going on over here, which is got a raised stencil, and we're drying that with the heater. That's for Nancy. She just wanted it plain, and I said, no, we don't do plain here. I'm sorry. Sorry, what? Whose daughter are you? So that's why I've gone for a raised stencil, just so it's not plain. And that's it, I think. And what I'm going to do is gator hide this. I'm going to seal this with gator hide. And that's the other amazing thing about Best Dang wax is you can top coat over the top of it. So like I was saying before, usually wax is the final step that you do because it's solvent based. It has to go last, or oil based. With Best Dang wax, you can actually top coat over the top of it. You can't do that with oil-based waxes. So what you need to do is wait for it to completely dry. Now, that is like asking someone how long a piece of string is, because it depends how thick you've applied your wax as to how long it's going to take to dry. So if you've gone really heavy with the wax, it could take a few days for it to dry down. It definitely would here today at the minute, because the weather's horrendous. It's cold, it's damp. So I always recommend to wait a week before you top coat it. I am not going to be waiting a week. Let me tell you, I am not. I'm going to break the rules, and I'm probably going to top coat this tomorrow, maybe. I'm going to use gator hide because it's got a shine. It's got the best protection. It's got the best durability, and it's hopefully going to make it look a little bit like old gloss paint. I hope. We'll see. Might turn out not how I envisage it, but we'll see. So yeah, you can top coat with any of the Dixie Belle clear coats and gator hide over the top of Best Dang wax. That's why it's so good. And I think that's all I've got to tell you today. And it's not next week that I'm not here. No. Hope you find everything on your phone. Have a much better day. Vodka! Yeah, thank you. Things can only get better. Or can they? Still got the school run to do. You never know how that's going to go, do you? So, yeah. Thank you, anyway. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure I will let you know. If you follow me on my Instagram or Facebook, you'll be caught up to date with stories of any future mishaps that might be going on today. So that's it. I'll see you next week. And thanks for joining me here on Dixie Belle's YouTube. Make sure you subscribe because they have some amazing content on here. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm live here every single Tuesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, which is 9 AM EST. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.